Get ready. Allow yourself to absorb every word I'm about to share, because what's about to be revealed could redefine the course of your existence. You might be navigating your life as a beggar, when the truth is, you were born to command. The crucial difference between the one who bends the world to their will and the one who is bent by it doesn't lie in luck or talent. It lies in how they think, and more precisely, in how they believe. I'm not here to merely inspire you or entertain you. My purpose is to awaken you. Within you exists a latent power to attract abundance, conquer elevated positions, achieve greatness, and exert dominion over your circumstances. But this will only become a reality if, first, you seize control over the one thing that governs all others, your own mind. This discourse won't just be sound for your ears, it will be an instruction for your essence, for your spirit. If you allow me to guide you, you'll discover that the invisible laws governing success aren't hidden from you. They're awaiting your belief, your obedience, your decision. So I implore you, don't skip any part, don't get distracted, don't wander away. Absorb every word. I've structured this discourse the same way I've built my life's work, with purpose, with law, with spiritual power. This isn't something you listen to once and discard. This is something you must return to daily, as if returning to the very source of life itself. Listen to this discourse not once, but many times, because repetition is the medium by which faith is built. Let these words penetrate your subconscious until they no longer feel like mine, but like yours. It's at that moment that the world will begin to bend, not to me, but to you. Now steel your mind, for I'm about to show you that when you think as if nothing is impossible, when you believe as if the result is already yours, and when you act as if the world must obey, it will. The moment you accept this truth, the laws of success will no longer be hidden. They will be yours to command. Let's begin our journey. The hidden power behind your thoughts, the seed of reality. If you don't yet possess what you desire, it's because at some level you don't yet believe you deserve it. The world isn't your adversary, it's your mirror. It reflects not your raw potential, but your dominant belief. Think for a moment. What's the most persistent image you have of yourself? It's this image, fueled by your strongest thoughts and emotions, that the world will reflect back to you. If you carry doubt, hesitation, or fear in your mind, the world will return conditions shaped by those very states of mind. But if you fill your mind with conviction, decision, and purpose, then you will command the world to obey you. You're not the victim of circumstance, you're the builder of it. However, your tools are invisible yet incredibly powerful. Your thoughts, your convictions, your inner dialogue. Have you ever paused to listen to the conversation happening inside your head? What does that inner voice tell you about your capabilities? It's crucial that this voice is aligned with what you wish to manifest. A man becomes what he believes, for belief is thought fused with emotion and decision. This is more than a beautiful idea, it's a fundamental principle. Imagine a craftsman. He needs tools to build. His most important tools aren't the ones he holds in his hands, but the thoughts and conviction about what he's going to create. Dominating thoughts, once mixed with feeling and repeated with conviction, descend into the subconscious mind, and from there they are transformed into reality. This isn't mere philosophy, this is law. It's the law of sowing and reaping applied to the mind. There's no magic here, no mystery. The great secret of all successful people is that they chose their thoughts with intention. They didn't let the flow of ideas drift, they selected what they would plant. They backed these thoughts with faith, an unwavering conviction that what they thought was possible. And they held to them with persistence without allowing setbacks or external skepticism to derail them. They didn't leave belief to chance, they made belief a daily discipline. Do you have that same discipline? If not, how can you start cultivating it today? When I tell you that the world bends to the person who acts as if nothing is impossible, I don't mean a childish fantasy or blind optimism. I refer to accurate thinking applied to definite purpose through the law of belief. Think about it. If your goal is vague, how can your subconscious work to achieve it? It's like trying to give directions to a driver without knowing the destination. You can work 12 hours a day. You can toil and struggle and sacrifice. But if your thoughts are vague, if your belief is weak, your results will betray you. Why does this happen? Because the subconscious doesn't respond to brute effort. It responds to conviction. It responds to what you believe is already yours. This is a key point. Not what you hope to have, but what you know you have or will have. That's why belief, when backed by definiteness, is more powerful than work alone. Work without belief is wasted energy. It's like trying to push a rope. Belief without action is mere daydreaming. It's like having a treasure map, but never digging. But belief fused with decision is pure power. It's the map, the shovel, and the determination to dig until the treasure is found. There's a vast difference between someone who wishes and someone who believes. One vaguely hopes, the other knows with certainty. One waits for permission, the other acts without it. One looks to the world for proof before committing. The other commits and makes the world yield proof. The world doesn't reward the one who waits. It rewards the one who declares. Are you declaring your reality, or just wishing for it in silence? Wishing is weakness, a whisper in the wind. But belief supported by decision is an irresistible force, a gale that reshapes the landscape. And so I give you this undeniable truth, the foundation upon which your new life will be built. I am the master of my belief. What I believe with emotion and act upon with decision becomes real. Say that aloud, right now. Feel every word, not once, but every morning, every night, until your mind no longer questions. Say it until your speech, your posture, and your action all declare it without hesitation. Speak until the doubt is gone. Speak until you become what you speak. The tongue is the steering wheel of the subconscious, and belief is the engine. If you hesitate, the world hesitates. If you believe, it obeys. That's the strange and perfect symmetry of life. You don't need to chase success. You just need to chase certainty. When your inner belief becomes definite, your outer world becomes obedient. People don't win by chance. They win by internal cause, and that cause is always, without exception, a belief they refuse to question. You must now dismantle the resistance within you. Every excuse, every hesitation, every fear that says, "It may not work for me," is a lie you accepted from the world. You weren't born with that doubt. It was given to you by voices who gave up on their own power. Will you continue to carry the limiting beliefs others gave you, or will you choose your own? Now is the hour to reject it. Tear it from your mind as you'd tear weeds from a garden you want to thrive. Replace every mental hesitation with this powerful phrase, "It is mine because I have decided." Some will tell you that acting as if is self-deception. They are mistaken. Acting as if nothing is impossible isn't fantasy. It's spiritual law. The Creator didn't give you imagination so you could pretend. He gave you imagination so you could preview the future before it arrives, and belief makes the future arrive. Act as if the wealth is yours, and it will begin to manifest. Act as if the position is yours, and your mind will gather the means to achieve it. There's a spiritual principle at work here, one not taught in schools or whispered in the corridors of average thinking. It's this: what you consistently believe and act upon with feeling and definiteness must externalize in the world of form. The world doesn't resist your belief. It responds to it. It molds itself to your inner commands. You're not waiting for conditions to change. Conditions are waiting for you to believe. And so I say again with solemn intensity, if you change your mind and act as if it were already so, life has no choice but to conform. The laws of success aren't delayed by your environment, your education, or your upbringing. They're delayed only by your indecision. If you wish to see change, you must first become it. Speak differently. Walk with conviction. Carry yourself as if you are already what you seek to become. Start today, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready. Start now. Write your definite chief aim. Declare it aloud. Say it with power. Read it morning and night. Back it with feeling. Command your inner world and your outer world will follow. You are not small. You are not weak. You are a master builder, and your belief is your hammer. Use it. Shape your destiny with it. Declare, "I am the person who makes the impossible submit, and I act like it." Nothing is impossible to the mind that believes. Break the chains of limitation. There's no such thing as impossible to the mind that believes. Impossibility isn't a condition of the world. It's a confession from the person who has given up dominion over their own thoughts. When someone says, "It can't be done," what they truly mean is, "I don't believe I can do it." And because belief is the gatekeeper to action, that person never begins, never builds, never breaks through. They are defeated in the silence of their own thought. How many times have you caught yourself using that phrase without realizing its destructive power? The world isn't shaped by real limits. It's shaped by the limits that people accept. And these aren't fixed laws of the universe. They're lies inherited from the failures of other people who passed their doubts forward as if they were unquestionable truths. But I tell you, the human mind, when fixed upon a definite object and backed by faith, must bring forth what it conceives, for there is no idea that cannot be done. There are only people who doubt it. Understand the immense power of your own subconscious mind. It has no sense of humor. It doesn't mock you when you speak of greatness. It doesn't question whether your goals are too large. It doesn't evaluate logic or common sense. It simply accepts what you give it. If you feed it repetition backed by emotion, it obeys. Whether that repetition is belief or fear, courage or doubt, wealth or poverty. It accepts and it begins to create accordingly. Your subconscious is a loyal servant, but without judgment. What have you been commanding it to do today? Let me tell you the story of a man whose belief banished impossibility, Thomas Edison. The man who lit the world didn't discover the electric lamp because he was the most educated. He wasn't the wealthiest. He didn't possess a blueprint handed to him by fate. No, he possessed one thing, and it was enough: a burning desire and an absolute belief that the light existed and must be brought forth. For 10,000 attempts, he met failure one after another, yet he never accepted defeat. Do you understand the gravity of that? 10,000 trials, 10,000 obstacles, and not once did Edison accept the word impossible. He said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." And with each so-called failure, his belief only deepened. He acted as if the light was already his, and so his mind found a way to make it real. This isn't luck. This isn't fate. This is spiritual law in motion. Would you have the same persistence? What holds you back from having it? You may not be an inventor who changed the world, but the principle is the same for any area of your life. If you hold your aim with the same intensity that Edison held his, and you believe in its arrival before the world sees it, the world will have no choice but to shape itself around your vision. You don't need 10 talents. You need one unwavering belief. And that belief, when fused with persistence, will bend the world to your plan. Let this affirmation now become your inner and outer command. I command the impossible to submit. I speak what is to be, and I act until it is so. Say it with fire. Say it with vision. Say it until your actions become bold, your speech becomes certain, and your eyes begin to look only forward. There's no mountain that can resist the person who refuses to retreat. You must make up your mind that you are done negotiating with impossibility. Your decision is final. Are you ready to burn the bridges back to failure? Now, I must warn you, there are thieves of this power. They don't wear masks. They don't break into your home violently. They break into your thoughts. They come in the form of the 6 ghosts of fear. If you are to walk in power, you must know their names, and you must reject them daily. They are the fear of poverty, the fear of criticism, the fear of ill health, the fear of loss of love, the fear of old age, the fear of death. Of these, the 2 most dangerous to the person pursuing belief, for they are the ones that most paralyze action and expression, are the fear of criticism and the fear of poverty. The first paralyzes your expression. It causes you to hesitate before speaking your truth, before putting yourself out there, before creating. The second imprisons your imagination. It causes you to believe you must stay small, safe to survive, preventing you from risking and growing. But let me make this plain. If you entertain these fears, even for a moment, you interrupt the current of faith. You cast doubt into the garden of your mind. Which of these fears haunts you the most? Identifying it is the first step to overcoming it. If you wish to walk in belief, you must guard your inner world. No seed of doubt must be allowed to grow. You must watch your thoughts as a soldier watches the gate of an impenetrable fortress. You must speak only that which reinforces your power, for the subconscious listens. It listens always. It hears your casual words, it hears your jokes, it hears your complaints, and whatever you repeat, it accepts. So you must speak with intention. You must declare the impossible as inevitable. Don't say, "I hope." Don't say, "I wish." Say, "I am." Say, "It is done." Say, "This is mine," and act accordingly. Dress as if, move as if, spend your time as if, believe as if. Not because the evidence is there, but because you are planting the evidence, because you are laying down spiritual cause before the physical effect has time to appear. This is how a person who believes lives. They don't wait, they create. You may have been told you need more experience. You may have been told you are too late, too early, too poor, too unqualified. But the person who believes doesn't consult those opinions. They don't measure their power by the standards of the world. They measure it by the laws of thought, which obey belief and persistence, not pedigree. You are not what others say you are. You are what you decide to believe and what you consistently prove through action. Remember, failure isn't final unless you believe it is real. The difference between the successful person and the defeated one is often not resources, not skill, not luck, but whether they accepted failure or simply reclassified it as another step. How have you been reclassifying your failures so far? Every delay is a test of belief. Every obstacle is an invitation to double your faith. If you don't turn back, you will reach the result, for the world has no defense against a person who never quits. So go now, face your doubts, banish them. Replace them with declarations of belief. Look at your vision with new eyes and refuse to blink, refuse to shrink, refuse to second guess. Say aloud, "Nothing is impossible for me, for I believe without retreat and I act without fear, and I act." The mental ritual that changes reality, the daily practice of greatness. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are prepared to receive. And preparation doesn't begin in your environment, it begins in your thoughts. The person who waits for circumstances to change before they change their behavior will always be waiting, paralyzed. But the person who changes themselves first, who acts as if the future has already arrived, commands conditions to obey their example. This is the fundamental principle. Act as if it were already done, and so it shall be. You must conduct yourself in thought, speech, and movement like the person who already possesses the result. This isn't self-deception or an empty simulation. This is active creation. Every step, every word, every thought is a brick in the construction of your new reality. Every great achiever walked long before the world noticed them, thinking, believing, speaking as if their name was already carved into history. Think of the great leaders, inventors, and visionaries. Do you think they waited for proof to act like it? It wasn't the world that crowned them. It was their inner conviction that demanded the crown. The mind is a creature of habit, and the subconscious mind, being without will of its own, follows the habits you assign to it. It's fertile ground, but it needs cultivation. If you act as the poor person, it will deliver you poverty. If you act as the victim, it will create more injustice to support that identity. But if you act as the leader, the producer, the master of your fate, then your subconscious will begin to attract the ideas, the people, and the circumstances that match that image. And so I tell you, write your definite chief aim. Write it as if it is already complete. Don't say I hope to become, say I am. Don't write I wish to have. Write I now possess. Make your words bold, definite, unshakable. Clarity is the driving force here. Then take that statement and read it aloud twice each day. Once in the morning to set the tone for your day, and once in the evening to program your subconscious while you sleep. Read it with emotion. Read it with vision. Read it until you believe it deeply, and then read it more. Repetition is the mother of mastery. You must see yourself already in possession of the result. That vision must live in your imagination, not just for a moment, not just when you feel inspired, but as a daily mental ritual. This is the act of training your subconscious to accept a new identity. Your old self, the one filled with doubt and delay, must be evicted, and your new self, the one who commands the impossible, must be invited in with all honors. With each repetition of belief, understand, this ritual isn't merely about reading words, it's about becoming the person described in those words. You must walk into your day as that person. You must speak to others with their posture. You must carry their tone, their rhythm, their spirit. When you speak of your aim, do so as if you are unveiling an unquestionable truth, not requesting permission for it to exist. Act as if the ink on your destiny has already dried. Let me give you a living example of this principle in action. Andrew Carnegie. He didn't build his steel empire through brute force, but through unwavering belief. He didn't wait for others to prove themselves before treating them as leaders. He treated every associate as if they were already great people, and by doing so they rose to match the image he held of them. This is the silent, powerful law. What you consistently act as if is true long enough must become true. The ritual of morning and evening suggestion isn't idle superstition. It's the furnace in which identity is reforged. If you rise each morning and immediately read your aim aloud with clarity and feeling, you set the frequency for your day. If you speak it each night before retiring, you hand your subconscious a command to work upon while you sleep. Over time, this rhythm becomes your inner music, and it will override all previous noise of doubt and limitation. Now let's make this declaration with all your might. I conduct myself in thought, speech, and action as if I already possess the result I seek. Say it with finality. Don't whisper it. Own it. For what you declare repeatedly becomes law in the land of the subconscious. And once that law is written, the machinery of your mind begins to move in its service. Ideas emerge, energy increases, synchronicities and coincidences appear. Why? Because you have changed your vibration of identity, and the universe responds to your new frequency. And let me be clear, this transformation doesn't require the approval of others. You don't need applause to act as if you are powerful. You don't need titles to behave with authority. You don't need wealth to speak like a builder of fortunes. These things come after the behavior, not before. Your actions must lead, your emotions must follow, and the world must then respond. Let's speak of behavior. The person who acts as if they are defeated, carries slumped shoulders, avoids eye contact, speaks in uncertain tones and hides from challenge. The person who acts as if they are victorious stands tall, meets eyes directly, speaks with calm command, and walks toward the struggle with eagerness. These aren't random traits. They are reflections of belief. Which of these postures are you exhibiting today? You must choose which version of yourself you will breathe into being. But what if doubt remains? What if fear clings like a parasite? Then act anyway, for repeated action will strangle doubt. There is no greater antidote to uncertainty than motion. You cannot wait to feel confident before you behave with conviction. That's not how transformation works. You must earn confidence through performance. Each time you act in faith, your mind collects evidence that you are who you say you are, and soon a shift will occur. A new identity will emerge, one that no longer plays small, one that no longer hides behind past mistakes, one that no longer fears the opinions of the world. You will begin to carry your purpose with dignity. You will speak with the authority of belief, and the world will begin to treat you differently, not because it changed, but because you did. You are not here to impress others. You are here to express the full potential of the person within you, and that person is waiting. They don't require more information. They require repetition. They require discipline. They require a ritual of thought, of speech, of posture, and through that ritual they will rise. Now I repeat and emphasize, write your aim. Speak it aloud twice daily with emotion, with vision, with certainty. Act as if it is already yours. Conduct yourself in the image of the person who has already received it. This isn't fiction. This is the formula thousands have used to shape their realities. You shall now be counted among them. Stop everything right now. If you've made it this far, it's because the message is resonating. You feel the truth behind these words, don't you? Your transformation begins the exact moment you decide to act. Are you ready to stop just listening and start building the life you truly deserve? Don't let inertia hold you back. Subscribe to our channel today and unlock a consistent stream of insights, strategies, and inspiration that will turn your thoughts into concrete results. Your new reality is waiting. The final reinforcement, your unshakable command. Throughout your journey, remember this supreme truth. There is only one thing over which you have absolute control, and that is your own mind. This is the cornerstone of all your potential and all your achievement. You may not control the actions of others, the tides of the global economy, or the unforeseen events of life, but you control your thoughts, and by mastering that internal dominion, you come to influence all that is external. Everything else in your life will follow the precise pattern of your dominant belief. Your subconscious mind is the silent builder of your circumstances. It's the unseen hand shaping your conditions. But it's not creative on its own. It must be directed. It doesn't originate thought, it receives it. It doesn't distinguish between truth and falsehood, wealth or poverty, victory or defeat. It simply acts upon whatever you impress upon it through repetition and emotional intensity. What you plant in it, it must grow. It's a law as immutable as the law of gravity. Think of your subconscious now as a fertile field, ready to receive any seed you cast. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, limitation, and excuses, those thorns and weeds, they will take root and quickly overrun your garden. But if you plant seeds of strength, purpose, belief, and clarity, and water them daily with the unwavering conviction that they will sprout, then lush abundance shall rise. The field doesn't argue, it doesn't discriminate. It obeys your sowing. What have you been planting in your mental field lately? Your job isn't to beg the soil to grow. Your job is to sow deliberately and to weed out the seeds of confusion and skepticism. The subconscious responds best to commands spoken aloud, repeated daily, and backed with definite, fervent emotion. This is why I've insisted so much on the importance of writing your definite chief aim and reading it twice daily. It's not an empty ritual, it's a programming instruction to your inner world. The mind, once charged with definite thought and fueled by this conscious repetition, begins to relentlessly seek every opportunity, every connection, every circumstance that aligns with that command. Remember, the greatest enemy of progress isn't failure. It's doubt. Failure teaches, it refines. It's a step in learning. But doubt paralyzes. It leaves you cold and motionless, staring at the door that could lead to your future, but never turning the handle. You must choose now. Will you be a person of waiting or a person of movement? Will you live according to your vision or according to your fears? When you look upon your definite chief aim, don't entertain questions. Don't wonder if you are worthy. You are. Don't ask if it is possible. It is. The only question that matters is, will you decide to pursue it with everything you have? That's all. And once you answer that question with unwavering certainty, every other question, every doubt and hesitation, fades away. Understand this law. Decision burns bridges. It removes retreat. The person who succeeds does so because they have eliminated the possibility of turning back, of giving up. When the mind knows there is no escape, it summons strength previously unknown, a reserve of power that lay dormant within you. You have more power in you than you have ever used, but that power will not awaken while you are still at the crossroads of choices. So I instruct you, write your decision. Speak it aloud. Commit to it in immediate action. Move now, not tomorrow. Not when the fear completely fades, for it rarely will before action. Move while the fear trembles in your shadow. Move while doubt stands frozen behind you. For the moment you move with conviction, you will feel a strength you forgot you had. You will feel alive again. A new vitality will course through your veins, and the world will see it. They will see a person who has made up their mind. They will sense the fire behind your eyes, the certainty in your step, the resonance in your voice, and they will follow. For people follow clarity, they follow decisiveness, they follow those who know where they are going. You are such a person if you decide to be. You need no permission from anyone. You need no external validation. Only the unbreakable will to speak, to move, to persist. You are the master of your own existence, and doubt is the servant that must be swiftly dismissed. And so, we close with power. Begin this very day. Assume the identity of your victorious self. Read your aim with fervor. Speak your affirmations with conviction. Act without doubt, even a small one. Reject fear, casting it out of your mind. Step into the role of who you are destined to be, and never again remove the crown from your head. This world will bend not to the loudest, not to the richest, not to the fastest, but to the most believing. Let that be you. Let that be the person you are now and forever. What's the very first action you will take in the next 5 minutes to solidify your decision and begin your mental ritual?